How is everybody doing? Positive and productive, I hope. Thanks for tuning in. Thanks for sticking with me. Hey, do me a favor and share the content with friends, family, anybody that you think the content is relevant to. Remember, local elections are more important than national elections, but dollars are stronger than votes. They won't stop until we stop them. Liberation comes at a cost. Who's willing to pay for it? Ladies and gentlemen, jumping into this really quickly, I don't know this account. I've never seen her before. I will say this. So actually, we're going to look at this. So this is Tatiana McGrath. She's a registered account. She has about 738,000 followers. Now, why is this important, ladies and gentlemen? I want to show you guys something here really quickly. She made a post. She made a post on X the other day, about a day or so ago, and I'm going to read it to you, and we're going to go into this a little bit in detail. She says, "My friends and I have been out all day protesting against this ceasefire. We demanded a ceasefire that wasn't arranged by Donald Trump. We will never give up the struggle for peace." Ladies and gentlemen, before we break down this, before we have to break this down, I want you to understand that this post was seen 3.7 million times, has over 43,000 people who liked it, ladies and gentlemen. So when you say, why am I making relevance of this content? Understand, 3 million people saw this content, ladies and gentlemen. 43,000 people like this sentiment. Now let's break it down. They've been out all day protesting against the ceasefire. So explain to me why people would protest against the ceasefire. Now, they said that they demanded a ceasefire that wasn't arranged by Donald Trump. Now, let me ask you this, ladies and gentlemen. If there was a genocide going on, if there were so many atrocities going on against men, women, and children, if all of these things were going on and anybody could bring that to a cease, to a stop, would you care who made it stop? So should I be asking you, who's just sitting here in your comfortable suburban home in the United States, or would we ask the people in Palestine what they thought? Should we ask the men and women of Palestine, the children of Palestine, what do they think about the ceasefire? Or would they rather the supposed genocide still be inflicted upon them only because they want somebody besides Donald Trump to stop it? Ladies and gentlemen, do you see where we are? Do you see where we are, ladies and gentlemen? So what she is saying, and 43,000 people also agreed with, not 4,000, 43,000, ladies and gentlemen. What they've also agreed with is that they also don't want a ceasefire if Donald Trump brought it. That's what they agree. So now what you have to interpret, because what I am hearing is no matter what evils, no matter what harms are going on in the world, I don't want them to stop unless they stop by the person that I want to stop them. Ladies and gentlemen, do you really understand what's going on? Do you really see what's happening? We called it TDS, Trump Derangement Syndrome. People hate Donald Trump so much that they would rather men, women, and children still be bombed and killed only so that Donald Trump doesn't have the satisfaction of saying that he stopped it. How do they care about humanity, ladies and gentlemen? So let me get this straight. And you know what? I could take this to the black community. We're going to read some of these comments in a minute. I can take this to the black community because I've asked black people. I said, if for whatever reason you were walking through the desert for, 3 or 4 days and you were dying of thirst, you were on your last leg of life, and here comes a KKK member and he's wearing his hood and he's on this KKK horse and he calls you nigger and he say, "Damn, nigger, you're about to die. Here goes some water, nigger." Is you going to drink it or is you not? Is you going to drink it or is you not? And you know what? A lot of people, hell no, I would rather die. I ain't taking nothing from the Klansmen. So that's where you are. So then now I have to say this. So then the point of that whole analogy is that if he hated you, and the reason why, because he hate us and what they did to our people and blah, 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 then we have to go on this long diatribe about a whole bunch of nothingness, right? People say a lot. People use a lot of words but say nothing. It reminds me of AOC. She gets up there and she's always talking for a long time, but it's like you didn't even say anything. But the point of it is that if they were so racist and they hated you so much, why did they come to give you water? How come they just didn't let you die and laugh at you in your plight? Why didn't they just let you die? But see, we don't take in the context the person who I thought hates me is now here to give me something that's going to provide life and sustenance and resources. But I have a preconceived notion that you hate me, so therefore I do not want the help. Because you hate me. Well, if I hated you, stupid, why am I here to help? Oh, you just want to help me because you gon'. So now we know why somebody else wants to help us. So you thought I hated you, but now I'm here to help you when nobody else is, and now you're going to tell me why I'm helping you. But you already told me that I hate you. So which one is it? Do I hate you or don't I hate you? Oh, I do. But now I'm just going to help you because I'm going to get something out of it. I'm going to benefit out of this. Well, yeah, Chusta, Donald Trump did this so he could get the Nobel Peace Prize. You know that's what he really wants. He really wants the Nobel Peace Prize, and he really wants to see what you guys are doing is actually saying what you want, what you believe, what you look for. Listen, ladies and gentlemen. I think I made this analogy in another video before. Men from yesteryear, they don't want the accolades. They don't want the pat on the back. They don't want the fucking medal. You know what they want? They want the job fucking done. That's what they want. You said there was a fucking genocide in Palestine. So you know what Donald Trump did? He stopped the genocide. I don't care about thank you. I don't care about a Nobel Peace Prize. You know what I care about? You know what we could say today? X amount of children are not getting bombed and killed. That's what we could say today. Job fucking done. No, that's not what y'all look at. That's not what y'all. Listen, this shit is so fucking crazy. I don't understand, but we can apply this to so many different things now. Now, when I look at so many different things, do you remember when Kamala Harris and Joe Biden told us that we had to take the vaccine, but then she told you that she wasn't going to take it if Donald Trump had anything to do with it? Do you guys remember that? See, y'all took the vaccine because Joe Biden told you to take it with Dr. Fauci, but then when Trump rolled it out, now y'all say, well, I don't know about Operation Warp Speed. Oh, okay. So now we're picking and choosing who we're going to listen to. Well, Donald Trump ain't a doctor. He told people don't take Tylenol. You know what the funny thing about that is? You know what the actual funny thing about this is that what Donald Trump actually said was, he said he doesn't recommend that pregnant women should take Tylenol. He didn't say anybody. I seen guys taking it and just random people taking it, women who weren't pregnant. Like, y'all just misinterpreted what he said on purpose, but that's fine. He said he didn't recommend it. He doesn't believe that pregnant women should take it for a few different reasons, and we're not going to get into all of that right now. Excuse the interruption. But do you know what the funny thing about all of this is? So let's go back and quote him properly. He said that pregnant women shouldn't take Tylenol. You know what the funny part about all this is? Go to Tylenol's website, and on most bottles of Tylenol itself, you know what Tylenol says? Pregnant women. We do not recommend women who are pregnant, lactating, and or nursing, or about to be pregnant, or hope to become pregnant should take this product. So the manufacturer itself says it. Y'all didn't fucking read it, because the average fucking American reads at about a 6th grade level. Y'all didn't read it, but the manufacturer said it. And now Orange Man Bad just said the same thing that the people who make the product said, and now y'all saying he's stupid. So is Tylenol stupid, ladies and gentlemen? Because he's saying the same thing that they said. You know, one time we were having a situation in my family, and it was a situation with my grandmother's home. So we were all looking at various options. We could short sell it. We could do various things. We could do a HELO loan. We were looking at all kind of stuff to, help grandma out of her situation. So I had recommended some things. So one of my aunts, in her moment, she said, well, what does Choo Choo know? He's never bought a home. He's never purchased a home. I've purchased multiple homes. What does he know? So my grandma and a few other family members dismissed it, and they said, okay, well, what do you think the best option would be? And then the option she recommended was the exact same option that I recommended, and they brought it to her attention. And they said, okay, before I tell you what I'm gonna tell you, you said Choo Choo don't know what he talking about, and we don't need to listen to Choo Choo. Choo Choo recommended the exact same thing that you recommended, so we shouldn't listen to that option, correct? Oh well, what? See, that's different. See, you gotta that's different. I tell you, when people tell you it's different, what they're really telling you is I'm wrong, and I just don't want to say I'm wrong. You better hear it. It's a dog whistle. When they say it's different, that means I'm wrong, and I just don't want to say I'm wrong. That's all that means. So then when it was brought to my attention what she actually had said, and she had purchased homes and different things of that nature. So you know me, I don't like when people try to throw me under the bus. Listen, you can lie, you can make me look bad, but don't make me look bad to make yourself look good. Now if you're gonna just make me look bad, I'll look bad. I'll look bad. But don't make me look bad to only make yourself look good. Cause now I'm gonna have to tell you some stuff. That's just how it goes. So when it was brought to my attention, I said, I wasn't sure, but I didn't know that you purchased homes before. And she said, yeah, I had the house over here and I had the house over there. And I said, oh, so what you're telling me is that you actually signed a mortgage for those homes. But did you ever finish paying off any of those mortgages? Oh, so you never actually purchased a home neither. You were making payments on a home, but you never finished or completed the purchase, so therefore you yourself have never bought a home either. Oh, okay, I understand. Oh, but you didn't think I know how it goes, huh? Okay. And out of any of those properties, how many of those did you actually make a profit for when you actually sold them, and then you still had to pay the bank and the lender back? How many of those houses, after you relinquished whatever you were doing with them, did you actually walk away with the profit, or did you actually walk away actually owing some money? Oh, so you've never purchased a home, so you really don't know what you're doing, because you've actually tried to buy a home and you've never successfully bought a home. And when you did have to sever your ties, you actually walked away with a deficit and not a surplus. So in actuality, you really don't know what you're doing or talking about, right? See, I may not know what I'm doing because I've never done it, but at least we could say I might know what I'm talking about. Oh, okay. Anyway, so listen, ladies and gentlemen, I try to explain these things to you, and then why you disrespecting Auntie? Oh, you shouldn't talk to her like that. You shouldn't say why is it okay that she could say what she wants to say, and it was true. It was true, so I didn't take it to offense. But now when I say the truth, since we're all just gonna just start admitting truths here, so now when I start saying the truth, why is it a problem, ladies and gentlemen? Explain to me, why is it a problem? I had another conversation about it with a young woman, and I said, "Listen, I said, do you agree that drag queens should read books to children at school about any subject?" And we'll get into the subjects that they read to children about. But do you believe that a drag queen should be at an elementary school reading books to children? She said, "Of course not. I don't believe that." I said, "Well, do you know that it's only one party right now trying to stop that and make that not be a thing?" Well, that don't mean that they okay, so some of the most worst things can happen in the world. Drag queens reading books to our children, bombs being dropped on Palestinians. Some of the worst things can happen in the world, ladies and gentlemen. And when somebody stops it, you don't think it's a good thing now. So we're gonna go through some of these comments, ladies and gentlemen, because I'm gonna show you. And listen again, 3.7 million people saw this, 43,000 people liked it. And we'll go through some of these comments. Actually, listen, this was one of the comments I liked right here. It says, clinically insane right here. But I don't want peace. I want to hate Trump. And that's what a lot of people want. So a lot of the comments, I didn't want to tell you exactly how many comments it had, because a lot of these comments are not good comments. So I like this meme. I thought this was a good one. It has a picture of Obama. I don't know if you guys can see it. So on one side is a picture of Obama next to basically an insurgent, and then another one's Joe Biden next to an insurgent, and another one's Donald Trump next to an insurgent. So the first one, Obama says, "Let's negotiate." The insurgent says, "I'll blow shit up." The other one with Joe Biden says, "Let's negotiate." The insurgent says, "I'll blow shit up." The one with Trump says, I'll blow shit up. The insurgent says, let's negotiate. I thought that was pretty funny. I actually thought this was really funny too. Former McDonald's employees brokers historic peace deal between Israel and Hamas. I thought that was funny. I thought this one was amazing too. Trump cures cancer. Look at all the radicals at the bottom. Curing cancer is racist. We have the right to die from cancer. We want our cancer back. And that's really what people would honestly say. If Trump was to cure cancer right now, you know what? Here's the funny thing. Trump technically didn't make abortion illegal. That's not what he did. He made it a state's issue. So if your state wants to make abortion illegal, well, then you need to. That's why I always say local elections are more important than national elections. So if your state wants to make it illegal, well, Trump put it in your state's right. It's almost like marijuana. If your state wants to allow marijuana, your state gets to vote on that. If your state doesn't, then your state doesn't do it. Your state wants abortions, then you get to do it. Your state don't want them, then you don't get to do it. So it's not a federal issue any longer. It's a state's issue. You guys were not thankful for that. So there were places where abortion was illegal, banned, and outlawed, and actually they've actually reversed their position on it because just the way the voters have voted on it. So that's what I implore people to do: is whatever you do or don't like, get civically motivated, engaged, and go use our political system and discourse and go change the system. We can change the system. Listen, whatever side of the aisle you on, Democrat or liberal, I always tell people we are the government. We the people. If you don't like what's happening, rally your people, your voters, your support base, your group, and you guys change it. But don't go burn the city down. Don't go riot, loot, and pillage. That's not how you're going to change it. All you're going to do is make new laws, and you're going to go to jail. That's what's going to happen. I like this one right here. And they're being sarcastic. Maybe they weren't. I don't know. It's hard to tell with some of these people. It says truly unacceptable. The wars must continue until Democrats are in charge again. Please. So yeah, they were being sarcastic. So it has a picture of basically Trump on the news. It says live. Gaza peace deal announced in major victory for the Trump administration. You have a Palestinian woman praying in a pile of rubble. It says, please work. Then you have a liberal girl with the LGBT flag and a whole bunch of bullshit, the Ceasefire, Free Palestine memorabilia and insignia, and she's praying and it says, please fail. And that's the real sentiment. I think the people in Palestine right now are saying, I hope this works. I hope whatever Trump and Netanyahu are doing, it actually comes to a reasonable resolution and we don't get bombs dropped on our head no more. I think that that's what the people in Palestine are probably saying right now. And literally, by the post of by the original caption of this post, you have these liberal Marxist people praying that it fails. They didn't want peace to be brought through Donald Trump. I'm not saying you're the dumbest person in the world, but you better hope the dumbest person doesn't die. Very true. When you're dead, you don't know you're stupid. The pain is felt by others. The same thing happens when you're stupid. That's true. Free Palestine just did. And that's how they are. Imagine yelling Free Palestine for 2 years and then having to thank President Trump for freeing Palestine. They won't do it. They're not going to do it. They're instead of saying they said free Palestine and Trump freed Palestine and now let's go back. They say we protested against the ceasefire. We demand a ceasefire that wasn't arranged by Donald Trump. So no, I'm not going to thank Donald Trump for the ceasefire. I'm going to say y'all start fucking fighting again. That's what I want. And then when Democrats get in office, now let's negotiate a ceasefire. You're dumb as fuck. This is these people. And 43,000 people like it, ladies and gentlemen. Free Palestine. Yeah, what they said. I don't know what I'm protesting about. I join every protest as long as it's not pro-British. That's pretty funny. This one was actually really funny. A picture of Greta Thunberg with the Palestinian flag and how dare you agree to a peace deal. That's really funny. I have to share that. That's funny as hell. How dare you? If Trump said, don't drink piss, liberals drinking piss. I honestly believe that. I think I just told you, if Trump was to say something right now, I think most people would just go in contrary against it because Trump said it. I'm not even going to think about what he said. I'm just going to just do the opposite because he fucking said it. Just to show you that I'm against Trump and I don't know who I'm pissing off, but I guess I'm going to piss off somebody. But Trump said don't do it, so let me show you on the internet with my 250 followers and people who like and subscribe me. Like, I don't even understand these people get, like, you don't even have 1,000 followers. 1,000 people don't even like your content. And here it is, you gonna get on the internet and post some shit in opposition of Trump, even though this nigga just told you the same thing Tylenol told you, stupid. If you're pregnant, don't take this shit. Oh, I'm gonna show Trump. No, dumbass nigga, you gonna show your baby. That's what you gonna do. Now, when you got consequences and the doctor gonna say, well, it shows you were taking high amounts of acetaminophen. Why were you doing this when you were pregnant? It says not to take it. Oh, I did it because Trump don't know what he talking about. He ain't got a medical degree. Well, I'm a doctor, and you shouldn't do it. And you know what? We have to do some more tests because more than likely, we think your kid's probably gonna have autism. We think your kids might have Down syndrome now. We think this because you had high results over here, so we gotta do some more lab work. No, Trump don't know what he's talking about. My kid ain't got. Okay, well, as the medical professional, I'm telling you what we need to do. Let's check in on the left today. Good Lord. So you guys can see it wasn't that all the comments. Not sure if trolling or serious TDS. No, she's serious. Serious case of TDS here. Holy freaking mental insane. Who says shit like this? So it says, if you guys can't read it, I think I'll try to pause it really quickly. I'll let it play again. What it said is 25% of liberals are on medication for mental illness. That's scary. It means 75% are running around untreated. That's really funny. Honestly, you know what? I think right now, if you're still voting Democratic and you align with anything the Democratic Party, and I'm not talking like the OG Democrats, the old blue dog Democrats, you know what I mean, from the 1980s and 90s. I'm not talking about those guys, but I'm talking about, and most of those guys are honestly going to the MAGA movement already. I mean, you look at RFK wasn't a Republican. He was a Democrat, and he was actually the best candidate to run for the fucking for the Democratic Party, and he should have got the nomination. And it was looking like he more than likely would have had a better result over Kamala and Joe Biden. But the DNC didn't want to give him the nomination. So you know what he did, and he started looking at a lot of the different things. It wasn't just because they didn't give him the nomination, but then when he was like, okay, I don't got to be president, but let's implement this healthy shit. Let's stop letting kids mutilate themselves. Let's stop giving kids these puberty blockers, different things like that. Here's the funny thing. I'm telling you, people have no common sense and we have no logic no more. We always say it's different and we have to think about things and put it in these nuanced perspectives when it makes no sense. Ask the majority of people right now, should a 10 or 12-year-old be allowed to get a tattoo? They're going to say, of course not. It's permanent. Why would you do that? Okay, so should a 10 or 12-year-old be allowed to take puberty blockers and or mutilate their genitals, get gender reassigning surgery? Well, you know, so let me get this straight. You right off the rip, no, don't get a tattoo. But when it comes to changing your genitals and doing some other things that are lifelong, I'm going to think about that now. You see where these people are? So, and they put a picture of her non-white and exosexual. So they just wanted to show you what her profile says. So she identifies as an intersectionalist poet, non-white, exosexual. Pronouns variable, selfless, and brave. These people are so retarded. Like, seriously, these people are retarded. It's mental illness. And you know what a lot of it is, ladies and gentlemen? It's not mental illness because they're born with birth defects. It's mental illness because they're experiencing the side effects of a lot of their pills and the medication that they're taking. That's a lot of what it is. And now these people with these abnormal brain waves and patterns, they're procreating, and yes, their offspring are now they born with some crazy man shit. I'm not gonna lie to you, they are. I thought this was kind of funny too. You probably don't have to like it, but I do. It says, I just want to free Palestine. Be honest. I am being honest. Be honest. Kill all the Jews. Thank you. That's funny. I'm sorry. That was really funny. We saw this one already. A condom would have prevented this post. Possibly. Possibly, but you know what? It's almost like whack-a-mole. It's so many liberals and shit libs out here that it's just like you take away one, it's like 10 more respond. You cut one with green hair, and it's like a purple hair, a blue hair, and a fucking rainbow hair appear. It's like you just can't like you transform one, and 5 more appear. I swear to you. Well, there it is, the dumbest fucking thing I've read all day. That's some stuff about Venezuela. Here's your problem.
Do you think about how many men might have actually abused you?
It's in the hundreds, but I just try not to.
It's funny. We should give all newborn babies numbers rather than names until they are ready to determine their own gender identity. Stupid shit, right? But this is a funny thing. G Miller responded. He said, "What if you name them an odd number and they identify as a?" That's how you know, like they have no logic. Like the things you say is like one thing can just throw it all out the window. So if we assign kids numbers, so I'm gonna call you number 2. We assigned you number 2. Well, I don't want to be number 2. I want to be number 3. So what if I identify as number 3? Why are you calling me number 2? The same way I'm calling you a girl and you think you identify as something else. What if you identify? So the same thing can always be said. So you see how they always go against the binary, but they could only use a binary to justify their going against the binary? So I'll say more of her comments are trolling her and talking shit against her, but she did have a lot of likes. She did have a lot of likes. So I just wanted to make some content about this, ladies and gentlemen. Remember, there are so many Marxists out there. There's so many liberals. We got people right now who, like I said, it doesn't matter what the outcome of something is. It just matters who did it, who said it, or who's suggesting it. So it doesn't matter if it's the best thing for me in the world. It doesn't matter if we're going to stop a genocide and save lives around the world. If Trump had something to do with it, then I don't want anything to do with that. And ladies and gentlemen, before I close this, just realize this. This can be extended to your own everyday life. And I'm not saying you're Donald Trump or anything like that, but if you realize that you actually try to foster good things and peace and prosperity and do the best thing for your friends and your family, and it seems as though they just go against it and they don't want to do it, will realize something. It doesn't matter what you do. It doesn't matter what you say. It can be the best thing for them, but some people just deep down inside, they hate you so much that no matter what you say, what you recommend, they're just going to do the contrary. As always, ladies and gentlemen, please stay positive and productive, and remember, local elections are more important than national elections, but dollars are stronger than votes. They won't stop until we stop them. Liberation comes at a cost. Who's willing to pay for it?